This is the regular meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission. Today is Thursday, February 19th, 2026. Madam Recording Secretary, please take roll call.
Commissioner Russell,
Here.
Commissioner Wu,
Here.
Commissioner Lopez Guerra,
Here.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Peña Marín,
Here.
and Commissioner Bermejo.
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Seeing a quorum, this meeting is officially called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, members of the public may address the Arts and Culture Commission regarding any non-agenda items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the committee. No action may be taken on non-agenda items unless authorized by law. Does the public have any comments they wish to share with the commission? Please know that you have 3 minutes to speak.
We have one, Lupe Lopez.
Hello. First time speaking here. My name is Lupe Lopez, and I just wanted to come and introduce myself. In the past 2 years, we have been making headlines as regards to celebrating Native American Heritage Month here in Santana, in collaboration with Redaway Productions and the Heritage Museum of Orange County. How did we come about doing this? Well, we saw that there was a need of Native existence in the city of Santana, and to celebrate who we are. We're voters, we live here, we're homeowners, we're tribal members, we're students, and we're business owners. And so we collaborated with the Heritage Museum, and it has been a success. First year, we had 1,300 people, tribes from all over, and the second year, it went up to 1,600 people. And so we have a date for November 14th. Once you guys have your applications open, we are going to submit our proposal and requesting for event sponsorship. This will be probably the best thing for Santana, to do an event sponsorship to a real, authentic, and appropriate Native American event, because it'll be by Native Americans with the support of the Native American authentic community. And this is in contribution to everything that Native people, tribes of here in our community, in the state, and nationwide, contributions and the government-to-government relationships that tribes have had and from time immemorial. And so I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm always in community spaces, in the same space that each one of you guys are. You guys may know me, but I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me to speak. And that's all I have, but thank you. And I hope that somebody can send me an email when the proposals are ready to be submitted, and then we'll do that. All right, thanks.
Do you have your email address? Are you on our email list? Or it's in there? Okay, we'll add you to our list then.
No, I won't. Is it okay to sit and watch?
Of course, of course. All right. Are there any other comments today?
No, we do not.
Okay.
We have several people on Zoom. If they wish to speak, you can raise your hand and I can let you into the meeting. There's one person, Veronica Gomez, go ahead.
Hi everyone, how's everything going? I as well as wanted to reintroduce myself. I have been participating in the meetings for I think the last 3 years, and I am working in a new project to have support groups for people in Orange County that have been impacted by homicide. So I'm looking forward to send some information about this new project, and looking forward to work with all of you this year. Thank you so much.
discuss it at more length on the 23rd when we meet again. But I do want to just mention, because I having a chance to go back and look at it, it's just a beautiful document. It's just a really beautiful display, one of community engagement. I remember being there at some of the focus groups or conversations, one at Santa Ana College, for instance, but I was one among 1,000 different voices that were included. They included the ideas or perspectives of 300 different arts leaders and 400 surveys from the community. So that was a very impressive way to think about what this master plan represents, all these different voices and perspectives. And I think they also did a great job of asserting or affirming that in Santa Ana, the arts have very much shaped our identity as a city, as well as shaped or influenced, contributed to the economy of the city. Our identity is very much when you talk to people outside of Santa Ana and you ask them what do they think of it, they often talk about arts-related things. And then the economy, which we talked about at length as commissioned before, is how jobs have been generated, the different industries that the master plan identified as being having a lot of potential for development here in Santa Ana, for instance, one of them being architecture. And then lastly, there were 3 themes that were identified. I thought, as I was looking over it, one was around equity and accessibility. That people maybe don't always know about arts events that are happening in their community. Sometimes there are barriers like transportation and cost, and I actually really think this is a place the commission, us as representatives of our city, in this respect needs to adjust. This is a place where I think we should be focusing our attention, is trying to understand what those barriers are and how we can, as a commission, possibly work to remedy them. And then the second theme was capacity building and infrastructure, and I think some of these PD workshops that we have coming this year are a really positive step toward that. I think also the arts infrastructure, I know there's a lot of focus on staff, but I think there's an arts policy that I believe we're going to be looking at very soon that has been developed, and it really meets the expectations of developing infrastructure that asserts how the arts should operate in our city, how we protect artists so that they want to be here and do work in this city and so forth. And I'm really excited for us to look at that arts policy and for that possibly to move forward to the city council and get approved. So that's very exciting. And then lastly, my favorite part, which is the community involvement or engagement piece, which just really shone through this whole master plan. I think it's something that distinguishes Santa Ana when it comes to the arts, and I think we have so many great organizations in our city. I'm going to name just one of many, but El Centro Cultural, I think, has done just a fabulous job of saying that the arts in our city are something that is like a co-creative process. You don't just come and sit and watch the arts, but you are part of that process. You are like Noche de Altares, it's a night where people come and they create these artworks that are there only for one night. And then we all get to experience them as a city together. And so I think those are the kinds of things that this master plan helps us remind us of. And if we marshal our efforts together, hopefully we can make some more progress from that to the next round of
Yes, so we did meet and we started talking about the master plan. And to be honest, it's a very long document, and so it does take some time to really go through it. I took the time to meet with Victor Baya as well as Santa Pocha. They were there for the original master plan 10 years ago, just to get some retrospect from them, as well as just to get some feedback from them since they were there for the first one, and to go some of the goals that they had set back then and what had been accomplished, what needs to be updated, as well as funding for staff. I think that's a big one that we talked about, that we need a bigger staff for our department. I know the trend is overwhelmed with so much stuff, and we do appreciate everything you do for us, but I know it can be a lot. So I think that's one of the big ones that we're gonna do, is to have funding for staff, as well as to hire. I think we agreed to consultants to actually do a new master plan to work alongside us. I know I got an email today or yesterday, was it, from Trans, it was over the master plan for Pomona City. So it's going to give us a good reference points to look at. I've been starting to look at that recently, as well as just kind of trying to compare the two. So it's a lot of information and very detailed language. So I knew it was going to be a task, but I'm happy to be here and to work along with the commissioners. Thank you.
Maybe I'll just share two more examples of things that are ways that we might evaluate our progress and our priorities. So multiple times in the master plan goals, it was mentioned in goal number 3 that we participate in an impact study or an economic impact study. And I believe when we engaged in the Americans for Economic Prosperity, the AEP 6 study in 2023, that would be an example of, it wasn't the exact study that was mentioned in the master plan, they mentioned a vitality index, which we did not participate in, but I think that would be an example of how we have made progress and that we leverage that data in conversations, I believe, with our council members, advocating for more arts funding and in letters that we've written and op-eds we've written. So I think that was a really good example. A second one would be also under goal 3 is that there's more capacity building or mentorship programs. And I'm very excited to hear any updates about the PD workshops that we will be launching soon, because I think that would also show progress toward that particular goal. But it's mentioned, it's woven into a couple of the different goals, but one just highlights it as 3.22. Back to my comment about what the commission should be leading in terms of priorities. There was mention in goal 1 that we convene arts and culture institutions and residents for discussions about equity and accessibility. And I very much, particularly because we don't have additional staff and additional resources, I think that is something that would be feasible for commissioners to undertake. It sounds like Commissioner Bermejo has already started doing that, but to sit down with arts leaders, multiple arts leaders, to hear their views and why audiences maybe are not as great in number as they should be, and what we as a city can do to help erode some of those barriers.
If I may add, this is more to get it recorded. I think I was part of it, and I'm pretty sure about it when we co-created it. But I have a question: is there a database? And I know this is really heavy work, right? Where people sign up and say, I'm a Santa Ana artist, just because as our speaker was talking about earlier, I think if we have that list, right, and we can do an analysis of what type of art we have here in the city, who is leading it, what wards it's happening in, and if we're talking about that concept of equity, I think it would really help us to engage in an inquiry of what is out there, right? And it's not like an all call saying from now till the end of summer, we're just gonna put in, I live here or I work here and this is what I do. Simple questions, right? So that we can, as we're thinking about this, we are creating that collective mass of voices, right? It's not just when we're tapping into creating or refining the master plan, but more so as we continue to think about what this could look like. Because it's really easy for us to say, there's tons of art, and there is, but I think it's much more powerful to say, we have these type of artists focusing on this who have been here for this long and are doing this type of work. I think it helps us really create that baseline. Thank you. And thank you both for that document.
Chair, if I may, Commissioner Lopez Guerra, we have what we've developed in economic development is a business registry process where people can come in, they can click, and if something like that, we can work with you and see if that's, and bring it back to the next commission meeting. Mr. Mark Morley led that charge and it's been successful, and I think that's something that would fit the spirit of your suggestion and maybe be something we can add to our webpage.
I think that's a really good a startup point. I think between that and then we can grassroots along
Yes.
the other, but I think that's a good foundation. Thank you.
I have a question. question about that. There was, I was kind of surprised when going through the master plan that there was mention of culinary. I know you had mentioned that term, but I kind of saw it with new eyes, that there's this idea that we should have more capacity building spaces for our culinary artists, right? And I know that 4th Street Market, I think, is undergoing a bit of a renovation in that way, that it's not just a space that has, it's a food hall, but I think it is sort of an incubator space. And so would folks who are working in that incubator space be included in this kind of registry?
Yes, I think that's a possibility, always. The fashion, all of that, I think are considered kind of a fine art to be able to craft. It's a technique, technique heavy, all of it, so yes.
Again, because it was something that was identified 10 years ago as like we should, make progress toward this, and I just want to recognize that 4th Street Market, well, probably not knowing that this was part of the master plan, has developed a space, and like I said, I know that they have a mural going up. I know that they're like reinvesting in the space and expanding. I think that the opportunities for culinary, for people in the culinary industry. So I would love to make sure that they're included, so that we really do get that full scope of what the arts need in the city.
As someone who's in these culinary spaces at times, I think there's sometimes a confusion between how much of it is art and how much of it is a business. And in my perspective, it's always both. And I think one thing that might help for people who practice this in the city, whether they view it currently as an art or not, is for us to set forth a very inclusive definition of the various forms of arts and culture that are under the purview of this commission, for example. So not just visual arts, not just performing arts, but every kind of art, every kind of cultural institution that we want to include in this, and the kinds of leaders that we want to include in and voices we want to include in the master plan as well. I know especially culinary arts are not very well defined, but I agree with Carmela. It is a craft and art. It is something that people spend sometimes their years to master one single dish, and that to me sounds not dissimilar to spending years mastering one kind of paint. So I would highly encourage there to be an expansive definition of culinary art to include, so that people who don't currently see that as an art can come to view it as one.
If I could just interject. I've been made aware that the YouTube, the sound on YouTube and on Zoom is not working. So I'm really concerned that this very important conversation is not being listened to by the constituents.
There's people joining on Zoom, and I am recording it on my phone so that I can transfer it later.
Okay, great. Good to know. Thanks so much.
Just in case folks are not aware, because if you're not an educator or a high school student, you might not know, but OSHA, which is the School of the Arts, has a culinary conservatory. Valley High School, I believe, has a very robust culinary program. Might not be identified as an arts, I'd have to check. And I believe Santa Ana High School, I think, also does have its own culinary wing. So I think there are some really great connections we could be making toward that effort that align. The master plan does talk at length about youth programs and working with the school districts. I'm not going to touch that today because that's a lot of effort and work. But I think these are opportunities to show how we could help create more alignment, or maybe just introduce people so that that alignment can happen.
Are there any other questions, comments regarding where we are currently for the Arts and Culture Master Plan?
I wanted to ask a couple questions. One is, where is this master plan available for the public? Is it somewhere online that folks can review?
Online.
Yeah. It's on our website.
It's on our website.
Great. So folks that are wondering where they could find it, that's where we found it. And it is a good read. It's a long read, but it's just a testament to the amount of work that was put in by the founders, of really this Art to Culture Commission. One of the things that strikes me when I bring up that I'm a commissioner and I visit, cities all over the world and through my travels, is, just the concept of the Arts Commission as, governing body that can make decisions and advocate for artists. We're lucky here in Santa Ana that we have this, although, some places have something to it, but the more funding, so that's something. But the other thing I was going to mention is that one of the challenges that I find is that folks don't know that we exist in our city. And so, with this, kind of conversation around a database that Commissioner Lopez Guerra brought up, I mean, it is something that would be really important to help develop. We brought it up before, different types of databases, like getting a list of all the murals that are in the city. But even just having the ability to get on the email blast that Tram sends out to artists and stuff. So besides coming to this meeting or sending you correspondence, how is it that folks can get on? Because I think that is the database that we have right now, what you have collected over the years.
On our website, there's a link where you can join our mailing list. So I always add people all the time. We have a list, we have a link to a plethora of different lists of murals, both that the city commissions, so public art that the city commissions, that includes murals, sculptures, bus stop murals, sidewalk poetry, all the different things that the city commissioned, as well as community curated walks. And also we partner with Travel Santa Ana to come up with that more comprehensive, extensive list of all the public art in Santa Ana that are both public and privately owned. So there are links to all of that on our website, and it's clearly marked, this is from Santa Ana, these are community curated, that, different organizations put together mural walks or of that nature, and Travel Santa Ana is on there. So it's all on our website.
Great, that's good to know. And lastly, I think it would perhaps, I'm not sure who is in charge of the Cultura, I forgot what our magazine for the city.
Parks and Rec.
So it'd be really awesome if we can connect with them and, given that there's just so much of what is being done by our amazing artists here in the city, to also have space for us, a QR code that, directs people to, specifically the Arts and Culture Commission, the things that you mentioned, but also how to sign up to receive information on, artist grants and event sponsorship opportunities. I think that would be really awesome if we can help facilitate that. And just in general, being able to use that magazine to collect more data around, as we're trying to gather information from the community about what they want to see the master plan include for the next 10 years. Perhaps that could be an opportunity, as well as perhaps, social media sharing, links for folks to sign up and or fill out surveys. Those are my comments. Thank you.
I want to just also, in case you aren't signed up for the Downtown Santa Ana newsletter that Logan Crow from the Free Guy produces as part of our walk. It's lengthy, I will admit, but I check that between that and Travel Santa Ana. That's where I find out about all the arts events that my family and I engage with. So I just want to make sure that we give credit to those two organizations who are not commissioned by the city, but are doing this great work to document and communicate all the events that are happening.
And I will add a layer to that. If there's, and I know that we're very limited in our staffing, right? But if there's a way in which, if it's not happening already, we can curate the intersectionality of these two resources into what the city's doing, so that then people don't have to go piecemeal to find the things. I think it's just, how do we make, we're talking about equity, how do we make things accessible, right? How do we eliminate the barriers that potentially can be hindering from people interacting with or understanding or engaging in the richness that it is, that our city is.
Also, with the list that we have, that's currently that Garcia had mentioned, is there a way to send maybe through the My Santa Ana app a message if we want to try to gather more information from artists that may not know it exists or they want to add their information. I don't know if that is something that can be done. I know I get announcements or, messages through the app, which keeps me informed, and I appreciate that. Maybe that's a way to reach individuals, and I know it's if they're logged in, right, if they have the notifications, but maybe that's a way to help gather more information of where the artists are in our community. But I don't know if that is doable.
I'm not sure. I mean, it would be.
I have another question. Speaking of apps, there was somebody, it was a private entity, and I interacted with this person, it was a gentleman, in the downtown, just at a restaurant, and he was sort of promoting I can't remember the name of it now, but it was a private, it was not a city, but it was like an app just for Santa Ana, and it was supposed to feature events and activities and, like a Yelp almost, kind of like a Yelp just for the city. And I don't know if there is any progress or if that was something the city's been exploring, but I'd love an update on that if there was any interest.
We did meet with them a couple times, and I think the program that he was proposing was more in line with our business license system, and business license wasn't willing to give up this information to this contractor, so we decided to pass on it for now.
So what I can hear from discussion is that there's a great many other tools now that are available for us to use in order to get information out and to get engagement from community, from residents in toward us than we had even, say, like 3-4 years ago when early on when I joined the commission. And so as we're looking to revise this master plan into something that looks ahead for the next 10 years, we need to be creative in looking at these other avenues of communication, information gathering, so that we can really truly make sure that it is getting out as much information as possible to as many people as possible, and gathering information in from as many people as possible as well. But I'm glad to hear that there are a great many changes. There were some things when we asked about 5-6 years ago, the answer was no. Now since the answer is yes, and it's already been happening, and so it's great to hear the development along those lines for registries and having artists be able to be like easily accessed and recognized within the city, for example. All right, any other questions, comments currently for the master plan subcommittee?
I believe we had spoken about the surveys that we had gotten, where there's some survey data that we had. One of the things that I came up with was, do we need to update the data specifically just for the artists? Like if we do like a surveys just for the artists, and we'll have it like at every art block, they'll scan the QR code and just gives us the information of the artists we have in the city for the art walk. Because I know that the data that we got from the city is more focused on where the funding is going to be going towards, if I'm correct, right?
Are you talking about the master plan?
No. The data the city has, like from the surveys that we did like a year ago, I think, we were pushing it hard. And I remember that on the surveys that asked you, where do you feel that you need to improve funding, parks and recs, arts and culture, police oversight. So I think that data is just strictly just where the funding is going to go. So what I'm proposing is that we create a new database for artists that we create and generate the QR code. We propose it every art block to the Department of Freedom, that we get access to the artists, and we're able to better get refined data that it's going to help us in the long run. So that's just one of the propositions to have new data for the artists.
I just want to thank both of our commissioners for doing, extra work here, unpaid, passion-driven, no doubt. But yeah, I know it's a lot, but yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to support those efforts here on the dais. So after the next meeting, and next month, right, I'm sure that there'll be a lot more great conversations to be had, so thanks.
And with that, sounds like conversation has come to a close for this, and so we'll move into staff member comments. Does staff have any comments they wish to share with the commission today?
I'd like to thank the chair and the commissioners for the comments today. I'm going to reach out to Logan Crow, or I'll probably accept you that. You know, My Santa Ana app links to our events calendar, and I was shocked to see that we don't have the Santa Ana Art Walk in here. And there's probably a lot of other folks that would like their art events on our calendar that will go right on the Santa Ana app. That's probably something very easy to handle.
But is that, are
And-
these events only ones that city sponsors though?
No. Well, maybe they are.
Yeah, I think it has to be city sponsored events.
We'll check into that. I think it's a nice resource though, so we'll see how we can utilize it. And then on the culinary arts, kind of related, I don't know if they would want to be included, but Fat of the Land turned up number 19 on Yelp's Top 100 Restaurants for 2026. And they're the type of group that would probably do, I don't know, a plating exhibition, do something, you know, related to the culinary arts. So just wanted to do, you know, bring that to light. We were happy about that. We did that as a notable to our city council a few weeks ago. And so I love the culinary arts. We had our former president of Santa Ana College many years ago, Erlinda Martinez, wanted to open a culinary arts location, and a friend of mine was looking for real estate to try to place, and they were trying to create a program for Santa Ana College. I don't think it ever came to fruition, but I think there's enough interest that this is something that we need to explore, especially with Santa Ana High School, probably Orange County High School of the Arts. I know Valley High School way back when had something related to their old, this is going back many years, 90s and 2000, Global Business Academy. I don't know what they call it. But thank you. These are great. I love how we keep evolving the arts programs here in our city, and thank you all. And I'll turn it over to our arts and culture specialist.
Thank you, Director Garcia. So good news is that we will be opening our artist grant and our sponsorship program simultaneously next week. So that'll be open, and then the following, and then we'll have our usual information sessions, mandatory information sessions. You must attend these only for the artist grant if you want to receive an artist grant, because there's a lot of process that needs to be explained and a lot of different requirements. The sponsorship program, you do not need to attend any, there will not be any information session. That's pretty straightforward. And that's it. And the theme will be stories that unite us in Santa Ana. PD workshops? Yes, that's also covered.
What's the max donation for the event sponsorships and the grants?
Last time, let's see.
I don't want to give the wrong answer right now. Let me go back and check. But there was something that the commissioners, you all had agreed on. 10,000? I forget. Something like that.
That's what I thought.
No.
Yeah, I think it was 10,000.
And yeah, once again, just to remind folks, the sponsorship program is on a rolling basis until we run out of funds. So every month, you can just keep applying. Oh, I'm sorry. Apply once per the program, but if you miss it, you can apply the following month.
Just to clarify, this is for the event sponsorship, correct?
Correct.
Thank you, Jen.
Sorry, one more thing. Can you clarify how much funds we have in each pot for the grants, artist grants, and for the event sponsorships?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I don't want to give the incorrect number again, because it kind of changed just a little bit, so I will email you that.
Does the commission have any comments they wish to share?
Sure, I'll start. So first off, I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year, both lunar and Chinese. So for Chinese is, what was it? Gong Xi Bai Xia You're gonna murder me because I don't know the Vietnamese one. With that said, I also want to thank one of the local artists here that's been doing his DJ passion for the last year. He got his business registered, he got his LLC, and he's been doing it for a year. And I just wanted to really thank him for being and putting dedication to come to the city of Santa Ana, bringing business, bringing people, but more importantly, to show that as an artist, you can make a living. You take the steps that are needed, as well as like setting up your LLC and doing the business route. So it is very doable. It's just a lack of information. So again, I want to thank Sergio Contreras for his business, Arachne Nights. He's dedicated a whole year to it, so I'm very proud of you. The other events that we have is Copy of Cards with Suavecito. It's coming up this Saturday, so we're having collaboration as well as with Victor Rivers from the classic film Blood In, Blood Out. So I hope to see a lot of people there. And then I had the honor of attending the historic courthouse museum that they want to change to not the old courthouse, but the historic courthouse. So that was really great. We had a lot of interesting pieces there. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. Thank you everyone for coming out. I appreciate everybody's time and dedication to this. And yeah.
So I'll start us off by saying thank you to all those who celebrate Lunar New Year in the Vietnamese community. I hope that we're all ushering this year of the fire horse with as much energy and as much excitement as horses bring to the world around them as well. Yes, the fire horse especially, we're no longer in, yes, the elements really bring a lot of energy to us as well. On the note of culinary arts, I just want to bring attention to two opportunities for folks that I'm well aware of. I don't know how well known they are to others as well. There are developing ways for people to participate in culinary arts, even if you don't have a formal culinary background, even if you don't have a storefront, even if you don't have the funds or the capital for that as well. And one of those is already currently active within Orange County. The other one, I believe that the county is currently exploring policy. So the first one is around cottage food operations. And this is when you are able to produce food from your home that is shelf stable, and then you are allowed to pre-package everything, and then either sell that at a storefront that you don't own, so as a pop-up, go to a different restaurant, a cafe, whatever it is, sell those goods, or go to farmers markets and sell those goods directly to consumers as well. And you get those licenses through the county healthcare agency. So it is something that is approved. Your recipes actually have to be reviewed in order for you to get approved to get that license and make sure that the food that you're selling is not likely to spoil in a way that can get people sick. But the interesting other opportunity that is currently opening up in Orange County, I believe they already launched it last year in Riverside County, is the micro enterprise home kitchen operation. And this allows you to basically run a restaurant in your backyard or your home. And so I really encourage, I know there's so much rich history of food here and so many families that have passed down recipes for generations. And when you can hone a recipe, not just through one lifetime, but through many lifetimes, I can only imagine how rich and wonderful those foods really are. So when this other policy for the micro enterprise home kitchen operation opens up, I really encourage many folks here to explore that, to see if that is one way that they want to interact and engage with the culinary arts in a way that, you know, could possibly even supplement or replace their income. And then to explore also cottage food operations as well. And I'll pass this on.
After reading the master plan, or reviewing the master plan, and realizing that awareness of events was cited multiple times, I'm going to do my regular routine of identifying a couple events that I'm going to try to commit to going out to, and I hope to see some of you all there. One is, actually I want to start off by mentioning another art form that I think we should explore, not identified in the master plan. But if anybody was in downtown on Valentine's night, anybody? Well, it was quite an event, and it was not publicized anywhere that I saw, but there were lowriders, and there were people who brought chairs, so they could, kind of really, it was like a parade, and people were out taking photographs, and it was this incredible community event, and it just had this energy, and there were bands set up on corners, so there was music. Obviously, the cars had music as well, but just the pride that these mechanics doesn't quite seem the right word. I don't know what word would be described because it involves a lot of different metalwork and upholstery and paint. But I definitely think Santa Ana there's plenty of artists in this particular area, and it should be something that we find a way to celebrate as a city. But other things that are happening. The Pizza Press not only has their ongoing DJ nights on Monday night, but they're doing karaoke now, and I heard it's very popular with the high schoolers. They have one coming up on February 20th, I think it's a Friday. So a great example again of the merging of economic prosperity for our city and businesses and fun. If you're a saint, always a saint of Santa Ana High School, I hope you're going to make it out to Seussical the Musical, which is happening February 25th through the 27th. You get to see one of my family members on stage. This one's for you, Mike. March 3rd, De La Day. Did you know that? Well, if you're a fan of De La Soul, hopefully you're celebrating with me on De La Day, which I'm a huge fan. Their best album ever, yes, has come out recently, Cabin in the Sky. But I mention it because in Master Plan they did talk about the importance of this awareness and marketing, branding. And De La Day is an example. It got an award for music marketing. So it's a really brilliant, I think, example of something kind of simple to do that brings awareness and is fun and helps celebrate artists. Boca de Oro is coming along with Art Walk on March 7th. So a great literary festival here in our community that also brings a lot of students to the stage and allows them to elevate their voices. The City of Santa Ana has a water poster contest that's coming up on March 12th. Competition is fierce because I got a little one submitting, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know about you, but if you didn't get your tickets, you're out of luck. The Old School Love, and then we're going to this at the Santa Ana Stadium. I am so excited. La Lome, Sacred Souls, and Durand Jones and Indications. What a great place to have an event. I'm so excited to see how the city is reviving this space, so it's not just for football games and jockathons. Creator Studio in downtown has this ongoing exhibit, but it's coming. The end is coming close. It is the life and legacy of Sergio Ocariz, and if you are not familiar with him, you actually walk past some of his artwork on your way into this very building because his frescoes are on the outside. I want to credit Travel Santa Ana for highlighting that. You can go on Travel Santa Ana and you can find examples of all of these artworks, and they give you a history. It's just great. So please try to make it out to Claire. It ends April 11th, and it's only open on the weekends. And then lastly, I don't have any dates to share, but I'm sure you all read the emails from Grand Central Arts Center, John Spiak, curator John Spiak. The Stolen Dove is this really incredible project. At Art Walk last week, I got to hold the dove. So go and ask John if you can hold the dove. It's really cool. Santa Ana is like going places. This dove is not only a beautiful testament to a monument here in our city, the only monument for an Arab American in the country here in Santa Ana. But it's also a fun story because the dove got stolen and then they found it, and then And now they're bringing, so it just has a lot, and it's so fun that it made it to,
Sundance.
Sundance, there you go, thank you. Sundance, and it's at the Berlin Film Festival. I think it's on the festival circuit. So Santa Ana is getting out there. And the other reason why it's really important, if you haven't made it up to Los Angeles, not city, there is a really exciting exhibition happening at MoCA and the Brick in LA called Monuments. And it is a really intense, it's a very emotional thing, exhibition. It's also going on right now for a limited time, but it's really part of this idea about what are the public artworks that we have in our lives, that we have invested in as cities and municipalities. Who do we create monuments to, and what do those monuments say about us? What do they say to about our history and our legacy and to our community? And so, if you're interested, I highly recommend checking out the National Monument Audit, which is a part of this exhibition. And so, the Stolen Dove kind of brings it to this idea about this retrospect or this look at examination of monuments to Santa Ana. So, I just have a couple more. I'm really excited for this public arts policy. Because again, I think it sort of takes the work of the master plan and this need for infrastructure. But I also know that we need to have time to look at it because I know it has been through some engagement already. Like I know Commissioner Lopez Guerra and I sat down to look at it and provide our feedback. I know it went through the Parks and Rec Commission. I talked to my fellow commissioner there and he had amazing, incredible feedback about it. I know our local historians and city staff has looked at it, but I know the community is hungry to look at it as well. And so my request is that we try to make that public arts policy available as soon as possible. And I would love an update on what that would be so that we can get even more feedback and input and make sure that it really reflects the needs and interests of our artistic community. And that's all. Thank you. Happy New Year.
If I could add a couple more events, shameless plug. Also on March 7th, it's a very busy day. Renato de Cielo, their 50th anniversary student showcase. I will tell you, it is almost sold out. It's at Santa Ana High School, Belvedere Auditorium. But there are seats available, and it's going to be showcasing some of the legacies of students and their parents that used to dance with us in the show. It's going to be very lovely. And we also did a coffee and cars little event with Renato. I have to tell you, I'm glad that Suavecito is doing this event. It was such an awesome event. About 20 cars came out, and this was all with the help of our families, and it was such a really lovely afternoon. We did it there on Valentine's Day. We rehearse every Saturday. We used the parking lot where the mural is against Osea, the Peace mural, and all the cars were lined up underneath it, and our parents brought coffee. It was just a really great event to build community, to bring, and we're always trying to get the dads out. You know, moms are always there at rehearsal with their kiddos, so this was a really nice event where the dads came, some of them brought their cars. So I'm happy to hear that we have one of those events happening. I think they're really great for the community. They're super fun, and I'm glad that we saw that in downtown on Valentine's. Ours was also on Valentine's Day, so happenstance it all happened, but there's so much, to your point, so much amazing art that's constantly happening here, and we really need to continue sharing and spreading the word. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate, Marlene for just so many years of amazing work. It's just incredible. First, enough can't be said about Renato de Cielo and how y'all have showcased Santa Ana and Orange County, just artistry and la cultura, that we bring here. So yeah, it's just really amazing. I think it's really important that we all engage in the arts in one way, shape, or form, and help promote it. And as Chair Gu mentioned with the culinary aspect and other things, we don't think about the things that we engage with on time to time as art, but we are and we do. So that's important. I've been able to open up my space at the Grand Central Arts Center a couple times. One was to do a vision board, because those are fun to do at the beginning of the year, kind of figure out what we'd like to work on, and and do cutouts and stuff, just get creative. but also think about like, yeah, what do I envision my life being this year? You know, this last art walk I had David Maciel, who's a local Santana young man. He's 17, 18, artist and designer. He got to showcase his art at my space, you know, independently from the Art Walk Grand Central Art project, but still, you know, something that I've really enjoyed curating artists for the past year there, and want to continue to do that. And because one of the things that what really inspired me or fills me is when I talk to other folks that are just kind of like walking around Art Walk and just, you know, wandering around and then happen to come into my studio and then they start asking questions or I engage them. And they're like, oh yeah, you know, I do art and stuff. It's like, well, why don't you do it, man? Like, you know, get it out there and stuff. And just and knowing that sometimes, you know, closeted artists or imposter syndrome, you know, stuck folks need words of encouragement from other artists. Like, you can do it, man. Come on. So, you know, and I think that's connected to the event sponsorships. You know, that if we can, you know, promote that more, and we should, and hopefully we can get that out there on the Santana app and all different places. That'd be great for more folks to be aware of these things. I want to say that it's so awesome that the person, Luis Sarmiento, and a part of Thrive Santana came last time and was sharing about the mural and the work that's being done there with the Colmena, you know, again, young or immigrant women that are starting their own businesses and have spaces to create these businesses and creating this microcosm, an incubation of art businesses and economic engine in a moment when they're literally fearing for their lives every day with ICE, you know, alerts left and right. So, you know, the resilience of women that, you know, are the backbone of El Centro and now Thrive really, you know, just shows you like how important what we do and what we fund is for the lives of people. You know, as we talk about art, can't separate activism from it. You know, I went out to, after the Alex Perry murder in Minnesota, and before that with Renee Good, and before that with Trayvon Martin, Santana's always stood on the front lines and stood in solidarity with people, you know, all over the world and in this country when faced with police brutality or, you know, immigration, you know, just and everything that's happening now with these killings, with the concentration camps that are being literally, you know, built in Irvine and other places now to house, you know, kids and families. But I want to say that the art and the joy, even with all of this, shines. When I went to that protest and I saw young people holding up the signs that they made and just getting, you know, creative with it, it's just really remarkable how much the art and culture is, you know, involved in Santana. Yeah, and I'm just really excited for the event sponsorships to go out in a couple weeks. So thank you, Tram, for all the work that you and whoever can help you from time to time. You know, come on, get in here, help us out. So yeah, I've been speaking individually with council members and stuff to, you know, to see how we can support and help and push, you know, for more funding for this office. It's long overdue, so we'll continue to do that, and hopefully my colleagues can join me in pushing their respective electeds to see that we need more staffing. You know, at the very least, half-time, part-time grant writer or something, you know, so that we can do more amazing work that we've already done. So I want to thank Chair Vu for just holding it down for all these years, as good as chairing there before them, and yeah, it's really cool. So thank you for another meeting, and everybody that was tuned in. So yeah, have a great Lunar New Year and a Ramadan period, and that is all.
I'm happy to be back and feel good gratitude for gonna leave it.
Can you
at that.
speak on the microphone, please?
I'm filled with gratitude for the ability to sit with you all and recognize how much work has been done and how much you continue to work. And I'm just in awe of the representation of the resilience and dedication to our community and elevating the arts. So I'm excited and committed to attend not as many as Commissioner Russell, but I'm excited too as we think about the events and how they're calendared to create a strategic way for us to make sure that we have representation so that it's not I discovered this or that, so that we can commit and calendar it, and that way for some of us that have different responsibilities, it's a little bit easier to say like I'm there. But thank you so much, and I'm always humbled to share time, light, and space with you all.
And with that, thank you deeply to all of our engaged residents, whether here or online, our artists, our staff, and our commissioners here for all your effort and dialogue. None of this could be possible without all of us together. May we all continue to hold each other in community and love, and may we all continue to hold art in a precious, precious place in our hearts. Thank you, everyone. Good night, and take care. This meeting is officially adjourned. The next regular meeting is scheduled for Thursday, March 19th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Good night.